If your dog is losing clumps of fur every single day, and you're finding hair on your couch, your clothes, and even in your food, stay right here for the next few minutes, because there is one simple kitchen ingredient that could change everything for your dog's coat, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it, how much to give, and why almost nobody talks about this. Vets often jump straight to expensive shampoos or pills, but this one spoon trick has been used by dog owners for years, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and how to start using it today. So let's get right into it. The ingredient we're talking about is plain, unsweetened fish oil. And specifically, we're talking about a simple spoon of it mixed into your dog's food once a day. Now, I know what you might be thinking, fish oil, really, that's it? But stick with me, because the reason this works is actually backed by real science. And I'll explain that in a second. Fish oil is loaded with something called omega-3 fatty acids. And these fatty acids go straight to work on your dog's skin and coat from the inside out. Most dogs that shed excessively or lose patches of fur are dealing with dry, inflamed skin underneath all that hair. And dry skin is often the real hidden cause of the shedding you're seeing. A regular shampoo can only clean the surface, but it can't fix what's happening underneath the skin. That's where this spoon of fish oil comes in, because it works from the inside, calming inflammation, moisturizing the skin, and giving the hair follicles what they need to grow strong, healthy fur again instead of falling out. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Shedding itself is completely normal for dogs. Every dog sheds to some degree. That's just biology. But there's a big difference between normal seasonal shedding and excessive hair loss that leaves bald patches or thin spots. If your dog's coat looks dull, if you're seeing flaky skin, if there are bald spots forming, or if the shedding has become nonstop no matter the season, that's usually a sign the skin barrier is struggling, and that's exactly the kind of problem omega-3s are designed to help with. This isn't some miracle overnight fix, but a lot of owners report noticing a real difference in coat texture and shine within just a few weeks of consistent use. So how exactly do you use it? For a small dog, you're looking at about a quarter teaspoon mixed into their food once a day. For a medium-sized dog, around 30 to 50 pounds, half a teaspoon to a full teaspoon works well. And for larger dogs, over 50 pounds, you can go up to 1 full tablespoon. Just mix it directly into their regular food at mealtime. That's it. No complicated routine, no special prep. The key here is consistency, giving it daily, not just once in a while when you remember. Fur health takes time to rebuild, so most owners start seeing visible improvement somewhere between 3 to 6 weeks of steady use. One more thing worth mentioning before we move on. The breed and coat type of your dog can actually change how noticeable this improvement is. Double-coated breeds, like Huskies, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, and Labradors, tend to shed heavier to begin with because they carry both an undercoat and an outer coat. So owners of these breeds often see the biggest visible drop in loose fur once the skin underneath starts healing. Single-coated breeds, like Boxers or Chihuahuas, usually shed less to begin with, but you'll still notice the coat becoming shinier and softer once the dry skin issue is addressed. Either way, the underlying idea stays the same. Healthier skin means less unnecessary shedding, no matter what breed you're working with. Now, before you go grab any bottle of fish oil off the shelf, there's something important you need to know, and this is the part a lot of videos skip over. Not all fish oil is created equal, and using the wrong kind or way too much of it can actually cause problems instead of solving them. You want to look for a plain fish oil, ideally one made specifically for pets, without added flavors, without xylitol, which is toxic to dogs, and without excessive vitamin A, which can build up to dangerous levels over time. And just as important, don't go overboard on the amount thinking more is better. Too much fish oil can actually lead to loose stools, or in some cases, affect blood clotting. So sticking to those measurements I just gave you really does matter. You also want to think about how you're storing the fish oil once you bring it home, because this actually affects how well it works. Fish oil breaks down pretty quickly once it's exposed to heat and light, so keep the bottle in the fridge after opening and try to use it up within a couple of months. If it starts smelling strongly rancid, much stronger than the usual fish smell, that's a sign it's gone bad and it's time to replace it rather than keep using it. Some owners prefer fish oil capsules instead of liquid, since capsules stay fresh longer and you can just poke a small hole and squeeze the oil directly onto the food, Either option works. It really just comes down to whatever's easier for you to stay consistent with. I also want to pause here for a second, because there's actually a bigger question a lot of dog owners ask when their pet starts losing fur. And it's this: how do you actually know if it's just normal shedding or something that needs more attention? That's coming up in just a moment, so keep watching, because getting this wrong can mean missing a sign your dog's body is trying to send you. Before we go further, if you're finding this helpful so far, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We post practical, no-nonsense tips like this regularly to help you take better care of your dog without spending a fortune at the vet for things you can often handle right at home. It really does help the channel grow, and it means more videos like this one keep coming your way. All right, let's keep going. So back to that question, how do you tell the difference between normal shedding and a real problem? Here's a simple way to think about it. Normal shedding usually follows a pattern. It tends to pick up during season changes, especially spring and fall, as your dog's coat adjusts to temperature. The fur comes out fairly evenly across the body, and underneath it, the skin still looks healthy, pink, and smooth. But when shedding becomes a real concern, you'll usually notice a few specific signs together. The skin might look red or irritated. There could be visible flakes, almost like dandruff. Your dog might be scratching or licking certain spots more than usual. And the hair loss might be concentrated in patches rather than spread evenly. If you're seeing that combination, that's a stronger signal that something beneath the surface needs support. And that's precisely the situation where a daily spoon of fish oil tends to make the biggest visible difference. There's actually another layer to this that most people never think about, and it comes down to diet overall, not just the fish oil on its own. A lot of commercial dry dog foods are actually low in the kind of fatty acids a dog's skin needs to stay healthy, especially the cheaper or lower quality brands. So even if your dog is eating every day, they could still be missing out on the nutrients that keep their coat strong. That's part of why adding fish oil on top of their regular food can make such a noticeable difference. You're filling a gap that a lot of standard dog foods simply don't cover on their own. Some owners even notice that after starting this routine, their dog's coat doesn't just stop shedding as much. It actually starts looking shinier and softer to the touch, almost like a completely different coat than a few weeks earlier. Now, I do want to be upfront about something important, because I think it matters more than getting views on a video. This spoon of fish oil trick works really well for shedding and dull coats that are caused by dry skin or a lack of omega-3s in the diet. But hair loss in dogs can sometimes be caused by other things too, like allergies, parasites such as fleas or mites, hormonal imbalances, or underlying health conditions. If your dog is losing fur in a sudden or severe way, especially with open sores, extreme itching, or if they just don't seem like themselves, that's a sign to actually get them checked out by a vet rather than relying only on a home remedy. Think of the fish oil trick as a fantastic first step and a long-term coat health booster, not a replacement for proper veterinary care when something more serious is going on. Taking care of your dog the right way means knowing when a simple fix is enough and when it's time to get expert help. Let's talk about a few bonus tips that can boost the results even further, because the fish oil works best when it's not working alone. First, make sure your dog is getting enough water throughout the day. Hydration plays a bigger role in skin and coat health than most people realize. A dehydrated dog is much more likely to have dry, flaky skin, no matter what supplements you give them. Second, regular brushing, even just a few minutes a few times a week, helps distribute your dog's natural skin oils through their coat, which works hand in hand with what the fish oil is doing internally. Third, if you can, try to avoid bathing your dog too frequently with harsh shampoos, because overwashing strips away natural oils and can actually make dryness and shedding worse, not better. And fourth, take a look at the overall quality of your dog's regular food, because balance matters here too. A diet that's too heavy on omega-6 fatty acids, which show up a lot in cheaper oils and fillers, compared to omega-3s, can actually work against what you're trying to fix, since the two need to stay in a healthy ratio for your dog's skin to function properly. You don't need to overhaul your dog's whole diet overnight, but choosing a decent quality food alongside the daily fish oil gives your dog's coat the best possible foundation to recover from. Combine all of these habits with your daily spoon of fish oil, and you're giving your dog's coat everything it needs to bounce back. I actually heard from someone who tried this exact routine with their Labrador, who had been shedding so heavily that they were vacuuming the living room almost every single day. After starting the daily spoon of fish oil mixed straight into the evening meal, they said that by around the 4-week mark, they noticed noticeably less fur on the furniture. And by week 6, the coat had a visible shine it hadn't had in a long time. Stories like that aren't guaranteed for every single dog. Every dog is different, but it does show just how much of a difference something this simple and this affordable can make when you actually stick with it. I know a lot of you watching this are probably dealing with a dog that's shedding right now as we speak. Maybe you're finding fur on your bed every morning, or you're tired of vacuuming multiple times a week. So here's what I want you to do. Start today, if you can. Measure out the right amount based on your dog's size, mix it into tonight's meal, and stick with it daily. Keep an eye on their coat over the next few weeks. You're looking for less shedding, a shinier coat, and calmer, less flaky skin. Small, consistent changes like this add up to a real difference over time, and it costs a fraction of what a lot of specialty shampoos or supplements charge for the exact same core ingredient. Before we wrap up, I want to know something from you. Down in the comments, tell me how much your dog has been shedding lately, and whether you've tried anything like this before. I read through the comments regularly, and it genuinely helps me know what topics to cover next. So don't be shy, share your dog's story down there. And if you know another dog owner who's constantly complaining about fur everywhere in their house, do them a favor and share this video with them. It might save them a lot of frustration and a lot of money on products that don't actually get to the root of the problem. That daily spoon of fish oil might just be the missing piece your dog's coat has been needing all along. Simple, affordable, and backed by real science behind why it works. Give it a real try, stay consistent, and don't be surprised if a few weeks from now, you're looking at a noticeably healthier, shinier dog with a lot less fur floating around your house. Thanks for watching all the way through. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you in the next one.